I hear people say all the time that they want to go back to school so they can get insert degree here and they can move into a more lucrative career. But some of the best paying jobs don't require a college degree. Software developer in particular is one of the highest paying jobs out there, and it's one that you can teach yourself how to do in as little as 6 months. So if it's so easy to do, is there any real reason to go back to school and learn IT or learn how to be a programmer in a college setting? That's the topic on today's Programming Profit Formula. In early 2019, CNBC published an article that highlighted the most in-demand jobs across the United States. As you've probably guessed, software developer is listed as number one, and it boasts an average median income of over $100,000. Now, many articles will say lines like, most software developers have a bachelor's in computer science. But in my personal experience with most of the people I've worked with, that's not true. Most people I've worked with who have college degrees do not have it in computer science. Most of them have it in a totally unrelated subject and then just transitioned into programming because they thought it looked amazing. Programmers are a mixed bag of backgrounds. I have known some that were artists, some that were musicians, some that worked in construction, some that worked in retail, some that were teachers. In short, it doesn't matter where you come from. Software development in a whole is agnostic to your origin. It doesn't matter where you came from. It matters what you want to do. Specifically, if you're willing to put in the time and the effort to learn this industry. Stack Overflow, a site used by a ton of developers across the planet, is a site where they put out a survey every year and they ask developers, professional developers, various questions. One of the questions they usually ask is how they learn new skills, new frameworks, etc. Overwhelmingly, the vast majority of programmers call themselves self-taught. In truth, nearly every programmer I have spoken to identifies themselves as self-taught in some respects. I personally went to college and got a degree in economics, thinking I wanted to go in financial advising. That was right around 2008 with the financial crash, which was a fantastic time to be in the industry, by the way. Instead, I taught myself programming. I learned through tutorials. I taught myself the programming languages, the industry, how to get started, and how to move into it. I did all that without ever going back to school. I didn't go back and get a college degree in computer science because, quite frankly, it's not necessary to get yourself in the industry. And to be honest, I wholeheartedly believe that you can too. I don't think you need a college degree to get a job in the programming field. Now, that being said, there has to be a place where people who get these masters or PhDs in computer science are working, right? Those PhDs in software development exist and people have them. That's a fair point. People who have that type of education, at a level of education, generally work in one of two sectors. Either one, they work in research and development, they specialize in inherently complicated subjects like cryptology and whatnot, or two, they work for old school companies that really put a lot of emphasis on that. Companies like Microsoft, Google, for example. Or two, they work for older school companies like Microsoft, for example, that really put a lot of emphasis on higher level education, and they want people who have that base common foundation knowledge. Companies like that are known for hiring people with more of an educational background to them. So going back to the original question here, do you need a college degree to be a professional developer? Absolutely not. You do not. If anything, getting a college degree, specifically in computer science, just helps you get your foot in the door to get you an interview. That's really what I see used most commonly. Truthfully though, experience and talent win out a huge deal, especially in this particular field because of the ever-changing nature of technology. Every 4 years, the past 2 years have become obsolete in the tech world. Think about that for a second. That means that if you went to a 4-year university, everything you learned in your first 2 years regarding programming technology is now useless. It's outdated. That demonstrates quite a bit about how fast-paced this entire industry moves. People who have spent 4, 5, 6 years in school studying computer science are already behind the curve at that point. Those people aren't necessarily any better or more qualified than someone who's taught themselves by watching YouTube. If you're interested in learning more about how to become a software developer, check out my course, The Programming Profit Formula. Links are in the description below, and you can teach yourself through this course how to become a software developer professionally in as little as 6 months. You have a great day.